team is made up of the world's top pros, each trying to capture the prestigious Elias Cup. Tonight, the quarterfinals begin with Pete Weber and the New York City Kingpins taking on E.J. Tackett and the Motown Muscle. And later, Jason Belmonte and LAX square off against Chris Barnes and the defending champion Silver Lake Adams Splitters. Which team will ultimately bring home the Elias Cup? The PBA League starts now on FS1. Welcome to Portland, Maine, and welcome to a house that's become one of the most important in the history of the PBA. Bayside Bowl in Portland for the PBA League. We're back. They're making noise, and why not? 8 teams in action over the next 3 nights, and here are your brackets. Our first match will feature the Motown Muscle and the New York City Kingpins, to be followed by LAX and the Silver Lake Adams Splitters, and then the second seed Brooklyn Styles against the hometown Portland Lumberjacks, to be followed by the 3 and 6 seeds Strikers and the Hitman. And now, let's take a look at the New York City Kingpins.
We are the Kingpins.
Yeah! Yeah!
First ever Elias Cup champions.
Ready to bring home the cup one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are your bowlers for the number 8 seed New York City Kingpins. Bowling in the number 1 position, a 3-time All-American and member of Team USA from San Francisco, Darren Tang. The number 2 seed, a USBC and PBA Hall of Famer from St. Anne, Missouri, Pete Weber. Bowling in the number 3 position, the 2014 PBA Rookie of the Year from Yakima, Washington, Marshall Kent. The number 4 position, a 2-time PBA Regional Tour champion from Greenburgh, Pennsylvania, B.J. Moore.
All right, boys, let's go. Pete? Come on, brother. Yes, sir.
And in the anchor position, a 3-time second-team collegiate All-American from O'Fallon, Missouri, Kyle Sherman. The team manager for the New York City Kingpins, PWBA Hall of Famer, Carolyn Doran Ballard.
Now there's a look at the New York City Kingpins, and now the number 1 seed for this tournament, the Motown Muscle.
Motown Muscle. Revving up to win the PBA League.
The number 1 seeded Motown Muscle. Bowling in the number 1 position, a 3-time PBA Tour champion from Mesa, Arizona, Josh Blanchard.
This is our year. This is our year, baby. Our year.
Bowling in the number 2 position, a 3-time member of Team USA from Wichita, Kansas, A.J. Chapman. In the number 3 position, the only PBA Tour rookie to earn a spot on the PBA League roster. From Collierville, Tennessee, Michael Holloman. In the number 4 position, the youngest player to win a major championship at the age of 19. From Austin, Texas, Anthony Simonson. In the anchor position, he was voted the 2016 PBA Player of the Year and the 2012-13 PBA Rookie of the Year from Bluffton, Indiana, E.J. Tackett. The Motown Muscle Team Manager, PBA Hall of Famer, Del Ballard Jr.
Oh, I hope you're ready for this because we are so happy to be here in Portland. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody, along with Hall of Famer Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler. I'm Dave Lamont, filling in tonight for Rob Stone. All right. The Motown Muscle, we saw the last two reasons, those last two bowlers, Simonson and Tackett, why this team must be considered very, very dangerous.
Absolutely. And by the way, welcome back, Dave. It's great to have you back here in Portland, Maine.
Thank you.
E.J. Tackett, Anthony Simonson, currently 5th and 6th in earnings this season on the PBA Tour. They bring all the muscle to Motown. Josh Blanchard, he's going to lead off for them. He's always been very, very solid throughout the league series. But watch out for the rookie, Michael Holloman. He's a southpaw, and remember, not too long ago, he finished 2nd at the USBC Masters.
And that's probably why he wound up in this event. Now, for NYC, we showed you they won their first title. That was a PDW-led team. But you know what? Around him now is a nice core. It's not all about Pete.
Well, yeah, the role has certainly changed, hasn't it? We remember the inaugural event where PDW anchored his team to victory, but you know all that's changed. It's not Marshall Kent either. Yep. You're going to be surprised at who's anchoring that team. It's Kyle Sherman, who they got from the Dallas Strikers.
And by the way, there's another unusual oddity going on here.
Yeah. Did I mention the fact that the opposing managers are married to one another?
Yep.
Interesting.
And Hall of Fame bowlers in their own right as well. Now, you want to hear from Pete Weber? You want to hear from E.J. Tackett? You're in luck. They're standing by with Kimberly Pressler.
Thanks, Dave. So, EJ, you were the anchor for the Motown Muscle, a role that you've been in before, so you know the pressure that comes along with it. But talk to us about that pressure, about your teammates relying on you to strike in the 10th.
Yeah, it's they do put a lot of pressure on. You know, these are peers that I bowl against every single week, and now they're counting on me to do it. So it does add a little bit of pressure, but been in the situation before, I expect to do that tonight.
All right, well, good luck to you. And Pete, the Kingpins won in 2013 at the inaugural event, and the dynamic of your team has changed since then, including the fact that you guys have decided to go with a newcomer on your team, Kyle Sherman, as the anchor. We just talked about how important that role is. Why did you do that?
Well, we feel Kyle has the best look on the lane, so you got to put the guy with the best look on the lanes in the anchor position. Plus, he's from St. Louis. I grew up bowled with him. I have all the confidence in the world in him. He's a great kid. He's a great bowler, and I can't wait to see him bowl tonight.
All right, well, good luck to you guys as well. It looks like these two confident teams are ready to start the battle for the Elias Cup.
Kimberly, thank you, and you better be confident in this. And we are confident in bringing you our PBA League oil pattern, sponsored by Firestone Complete Auto Care. Keep your car running newer, longer. What are we doing today?
Well, we're going to do the 42-foot Mark Roth oil pattern. The right-handers are going to be starting fairly deep and really opening up the entire lane. Look for Michael Holloman to stay pretty much to the left of second arrow on his side, and he'll feed it to the gutter.
So, we're ready to go with the Baker format. That's what this is. This is team bowling, and it's a race to 2. Somebody goes 2-0, they're moving on. Somebody, if we split the first 2 games, we will have a roll-off, the typical PBA roll-off. The Baker format, why do we have 5? Because the leadoff bowlers will bowl the first and 6th frames. Then the second bowler, say Pete Weber, will bowl 2 and 7. Then 3 and 8, 4 and 9. The anchors 5 and 10. And you can't do any better than that from Darren Tang.
And that's exactly what you want from your leadoff bowler, Dave. You got to get off to a quick start.
And Randy touched on the experience in this event for Josh Blanchard. Good guy to have on your team. And that is a nasty snap hook into the pocket.
Just inside a second arrow out to the 6 board. Josh Blanchard has always been solid in the league series. And now this guy.
Going without the sunglasses is PDW. Let's see what his career has done and what he has meant to the game and to these fans.
Oh,
yikes.
Lazy down lane reaction, 2-4-8-10. Look at that look from Pete.
Well, I don't blame him for giving the Pins the evil eye there.
He's going to try to get his ball right over here and then throw that 2-pin across into the 10 and try to get the back pin out the 8. Let's see if he hooks it in there. Oh, close.
So you'll leave 2 on the deck and a little bit of a crack in the early going here and see if Motown can take advantage of it. And here is a very bright young talent in A.J. Chapman out of Iowa. Originally Wichita State star. See what he did this year in the Chameleon. Lost to Belmo. Ooh, look out! Oh, yes, sir! Down you go!
That even got manager Dale Ballard Jr. pumped up. A nice break here, A.J. Chapman. What a game this young man has, and that's a huge break. Tripping the 4 forward and the 9 sideways.
I haven't seen that kind of break too often. That was something else. Now, a big shot here from Marshall Kent. That's going to bury them. He, too, gets a kick on the 9.
I knew it the whole time. I knew it the whole time.
In case you're new to this event and you hear a little bit more noise, that's encouraged in this event.
I love the big giant Marshall Kent fathead in the crowd right there.
And here's Michael Holloman. See what he did in the playoff pointless this year? Just missed it. And we're going to have 1 left for the lefty.
He knows what pressure's about, and that was evident by his great Masters showing where he finished 2nd, lost to Jacob Buttroff.
You win this game, you get a point. You win game 2, you get a point. If you go 2-0, we're moving on. No playoff, no extra roll-off, I should say. And he will do indeed pick it up. Here's B.J. Moore. He's been around this PBA league for a little while, so he knows the score here. 5th in the TFC a year ago. Matt O'Grady's big year in Ohio. Gotta go. No problem.
Let's go.
Oh, it went.
Hey, no worries, no worries. We don't worry about that one.
Why was I worried about that?
Bring it in, bring it in. That's okay.
B.J. Moore, efficiency of motion is what I call him. One of the prettiest games and so powerful. He makes it look easy.
So does this guy, this savvy Anthony Simonson. Ooh, 7-10 was there for a blink of an eye.
Little quitter 10 there.
Doesn't happen often to Simonson, who at 22 years old has just already set up a great career for himself and so much more to go.
Youngest player to ever win a major. This guy can bowl. Amazing at such a young age what he's done already out here.
What I like is his mental strength, the way he thinks the game at such a young age.
I agree. He's real savvy.
And now the anchor for NYC, Kyle Sherman. You see him in the Cheetah Championship 2nd. Dick Allen won that one. Ooh, pure flush. Beauty. Wow. Interesting that a guy who still looked first PBA Tour title was chosen as the anchor. But Pete Weber told Kimberly earlier, simply because Kyle had the best look. Andres Gomez, who is in this event, took down this man. Well,
we're kind of used to that.
that's E.J. Tackett's game summed up in about 6 seconds of bowling right there. So early on, a little bit of an advantage for the Motown Muscle over the NYC Kingpins here in the PBA League. Night 1 of 3 on FS1.
Saturday at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Live on pay-per-view. Order now.
The PBA on FS1 is sponsored by Go Bowling. For promotional offers, tips to improve your game, news, or to locate a bowling center near you, log on to gobowling.com. Now, the scenery around Portland, Maine in the summertime is absolutely stunning. So much to look at, so much to do in this town. That's why PBA loves coming here, and that's why we do too. And of course, another reason of the great fans that come here this year for the playoff, and now, of course, for the PBA League. So it is the Kingpins down by only 2, despite the open frame. So we recycle the leadoff bowler who bowled the first frame will now bowl his final frame for this game, and that's Darren Tang. And before Darren bowls, because we can talk about Pete Weber. In fact, Pete knew that the track technique was coming.
So take a look at Pete on the left, 2014 with the sunglasses, a little higher backswing, and his shot here tonight on the right. Let's see if we can see any difference there. It looks pretty good with the exception of, looks like a little bit more knee bend on the left, and that would make sense because he was, well, probably about 5 or 6 years younger. What do you think? You like it with or without the sunglasses?
I'm pro sunglasses.
Okay, me too.
I got spoiled with that.
I like it.
Yeah.
Because when his eyes get really big like that, that scares me.
Ideally scares the pins. So again, Darren Tang, this will be his last shot or last frame in this game. Unless, of course, there's a tie, and then we'll have a roll-off for this game as well. So race to 2. Will leave a quiet 10-pin.
Left lane looks a little lazy down lane, Dave, meaning the ball's not coming off the end of the pattern sharp enough. And that's exactly what happened to Weber when he left the 2-4-8-10. It's what happened there to Darren Tang to leave that soft 10.
And that is the Kingpins lane for this game. When we go to game 2, the sides will switch.
Pick me up.
So that's going to put a little bit of heat on Pete when he comes up in the 7th frame. Anytime we revisit Josh Blanchard. Now, another thing about the way these teams are constructed. Oh, there's Tracy Tang. There was Darren's mom. We got a quick look at.
Yeah, I sat next to her on a flight.
Ah.
We talked for about 2 hours. It was awesome.
What was that shot by Josh Blanchard? What I was going to say is the managers here, in this case, Del Ballard Jr. and Carolyn Doran Ballard, have the right to keep 3 players from the previous year. And then you draft 2. You can take fewer. One team did take fewer, and we'll explain that a little bit later on. But Pete was one of the players retained from 2018. And the veteran makes the correction.
One of the options that we have now is we're able to talk to the managers. I'm going to send a question to Carolyn Doran Ballard. Carolyn, Randy Peterson here in the booth. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, what's going on, and what's the biggest difference between the left and right lane?
The left and right lane, we actually thought early on the right lane was playing a little bit tighter in the part of the lane. But when we came over to left lane, it seemed to be reacting the same way, and it was actually a little tighter in the middle part and on the back end.
Thanks, Carolyn. Got to go. I got to comment on that shot. Now, that's nastier than a vulture's breath because that's back-to-back trip 4-9s.
How do you do this?
Well, apparently he knows how. Chapman, back-to-back jacks for his 2 shots, tripping the 4-9 out both times.
Big shot for Marshall Kent. Got to keep this close. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, good one.
That was rated R for violence. Whoa.
Max score 268 for the Muscle, 245 for New York City Kingpins.
A big chance here for Michael Holloman in his PBA League debut to keep the pressure on.
Let's send it down to Del Ballard. And Del, what do you like most about your rookie, Michael Holloman?
What about him? I couldn't hear you.
What do you like most about what you're seeing from Michael Holloman?
He's a rookie in this environment, and he hit the pocket both shots, and he gets all over it.
Thank you for your time, Dell.
All over it, baby.
Look at that beautiful game. Oh, isn't that sick?
That is. He reduces a difficult game to its simplest, most violent motion we can do, man. Wow.
You see the Flames up by 19 miles an hour and almost approaching a 500 rev rate. Anytime you get into the 500s, that's two-hand, no-thumb territory. He does it with his thumb in it.
So Anthony Simonson, his team, holding on to a 13-pin advantage, but you've got the Kingpins riding 3 in a row. You've got the Muscle riding 4 consecutive strikes.
Big shot here with a strike. They'll be in the 240s, the high 240s. Remember, Kingpin's max score 245.
Oh, a wraparound 10.
2 shots for Simonson, 2 10-pins. This is a really good shot. 6 just wraps around the 10.
All right, no trouble there. But in this event, Randy, a spare almost feels like a defeat.
Well, especially when you're on strings. But, you know, here's the thing. It's going to come down to the 10th frame and both anchor bowlers now. Kyle Sherman can step up and strike out to shoot 245. E.J. Tackett can strike out to shoot 247. They put this young man in this position. Let's see how he performs.
Pretty well.
Boy, does that left lane look tight down lane. I'm not sure what's going on, if it's the topography, but it's a little lazy down lane. Kyle shreds the rack, comes into that light swish zone. Nice touch and carries all 10.
Okay. Oh, I guess that's a veteran move right there. Yeah, one more of that. One more of that.
Kyle looking for his first PBA Tour title, but he is more than capable. He belongs here. He did request a re-rack. That's what the weight is. The 11th in earnings on the tour this year and 9th in average. Flush. Does he have one more in him? Because the possibility of a tie is absolutely out there.
Dave, I just got to ask this question to Carolyn. Carolyn, it looks like you knew what you were doing when you moved Kyle to that anchor spot.
He had a better look. He looked really loose, and he seemed really confident. So we went with it. I told you, young talent, they bowl with no fear.
Thanks, Carolyn.
Neither does she.
Yeah, no, that's why. You know what my nickname for Carolyn has always been? Honey Badger.
Yeah.
Honey Badger fears nothing.
Yep, you're right about that.
Big shot. That's a big shot because he now forces E.J. Tackett to double and 9 to win by 1.
Double and 8 will have a 1-ball roll-off. Double and anything less than 8, and the Kingpins will have half of the race to 2 completed.
What a comeback.
6 in a row.
9 out of the last 10.
Yep. Oh, no, he doesn't get it. And it's not even that close. And the first point will go to the New York City Kingpins.
Probably transition. The lane broke down in front of E.J. Tackett. And his ball goes right through the nose.
6 straight strikes to complete it for NYC.
What a comeback. Opening in the second and then doing what they did late.
Man, and it's not as if the Muscle were poor, but the Kingpins were just studly when they absolutely had to be. So it's 1-0 on the race to 2, and the Motown Muscle's now got to find the rally. Can they do it? The race to 2, the NYC Kingpins. You see the string of strikes they dumped on the Motown Muscle. 245 to 235, and they have half what they need to get to 2. But remember, the Muscle gets this one, and we will have a roll-off, and the sides are switching lanes. Well, Kimberly Pressler is standing by with Dale Ballard Jr. and Carolyn Doran Ballard.
Thank you so much. And Carolyn, how big of a circle on the calendar is this event for you two, knowing that you have a chance to go head-to-head like you are here tonight?
It's pretty awesome because we don't get to compete against each other as much anymore. So it's a little bit of an in-household little, you know, who's going to win, and my daughter always takes daddy's side. So it's a big deal.
Now, refresh my memory. The last time you guys went to head-to-head, who won?
I won.
All right, thank you, and good luck to your team. Now, Dell, she was just talking about the fact that last time you went head-to-head that she won. Are you going to let that happen tonight?
Absolutely not. Hey, we have ball in hand going in the 10th frame. That's all you can do.
Now, do you guys have any friendly wager going on?
Well, it's not really a wager, but the loser gets to fly back to watch our daughter Alyssa bowl junior gold the next 2 days in Detroit. So actually, there's not a loser in this.
It's a win-win right there, and good luck to your daughter at junior gold. Thank you, and good luck to your team.
Thank Kimberly, Dell, Carolyn, thank you. Two finer people you won't run into in this sport, let me tell you. Saturday in FS1, it's an MLB doubleheader. Rookie sensation Pete Alonso powers the Mets as they take on the Giants, and Anthony Rendon leads the Nationals against Ronald Acuna Jr. And the Braves catch the action starting at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on FS1 and the Fox Sports app.
I just wanted to mention, if Dell Ballard's voice sounds a little different, a little funny, if you remember back in his Hall of Fame days, as a bowler on tour, he sounded differently. Dell's a cancer survivor. He had throat cancer, radiation to his throat, and it's altered the way he speaks and what he sounds like. We're just glad and blessed and happy that we still have him.
Absolutely. And Josh Blanchard gets things started. They have switched sides, so now the left lane is occupied by the Motown Muscle, and the right lane belongs to Darren Kang and the NYC Kingpins. Of course, Darren also has Michael, his brother, is a fabulous player. Goodbye to the 9-pin.
You know, the thing I love most about Darren Kang is he's fearless.
Yep. Well, what did Carolyn Doran Ballard say? The young guys are fearless. She said it tonight.
Yeah, he's really the epitome of that. He's not afraid of anything or anyone.
All right, 3 in a row. A.J. Chapman, trip 4 nines. Is that possible? He may have already set a PBA record on back-to-back shots. We may have that. I want to see 3 in a row.
Yeah, we're just going to call him Mr. Fahrenheit.
Goodness.
So, come on. Great start for that young man in this environment. Not the easiest place to bowl in.
Nope.
You can get overly jacked here really quick.
Now, this is a man who understands emotions on the lane better than maybe anybody. Oh, Pete.
Who needs shades to be a bad mother?
Here's the lefty, the rookie, Holloman, the only PBA rookie in this field of 40 of the best. Look out, he leaves 1 behind. So here's the qualifying, which was held on Monday. 8 games to seed the teams. Motown and New York 1 and 8. That's why they're matched up. Our next match will be 4 and 5. LAX and the Atom Splitters. Then 2 is 7 and 3 6. And that will be a little bit later on tonight. Well, we do have that 4-5 LAX Atom Splitters match. Oh, that one may actually, I know it sounds it's personal. This actually may be personal.
Yeah, absolutely.
But first things first. There's a sound his shots make.
Well, he throws 16 pounds, number 1. Number 2, he's got an extremely high rep rate and a lot of ball speed, so it's going to make a little different sound.
That would have gotten him a ticket in a school zone. And he also buried him.
Now, Silo coming off of back-to-back 10 pins on the right lane. Same thing that Weber left in game 1, minus the 10 pin. 2-4-8. Again, this lane pushes a little bit longer down lane. You can see right there the ball not coming up to the pocket for Simonson.
So when Pete tried for that 2-4-8, he went for it all and split the 2 and the 4 around the 8. That's not going to happen this time with Anthony Simonson. Remember this, Motown must win this game.
I know.
And by the way, let's take a look at our hammer tough spare replay converting that 2-4-8.
75% of the time, I can't remember what the graphic is, 72% of the time, that's converted. And what makes it tough is that back pin, the A pin. You like power? I got your power right here.
Baby. Hey, let's run it right here. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Somebody teach me how to do that, or is it just not possible?
Let's go.
Well, and we have the first 4 strikes for the NYC Kingpins in this match, and should they or any other team in tonight's show roll a perfect game, everybody in America can receive a free game of bowling courtesy of Go Bowling. Hang on here. Oh, come on. 9, really? To claim your free game, simply head to GoBowling.com and register for the Go Bowling Free America promotion.
Thank you, Dave. I'm going to Del Ballard real quick with a question as we watch the ball go right past the 9 pin. Del Ballard Jr., Randy Peterson here in the booth.
Yes, sir.
What happened game 1, first ball in the 10th frame with E.J. Tackett? Quickly, please.
He just missed left. He said, hey, I made a bad shot, missed left.
Thank you, Del. You heard it. Bad shot, he missed left.
Well, at the moment, they can't miss at all because they're down 25, and Kyle Sherman's making his first appearance in this game, and was he Studley in the anchor position. 4 strikes in game 1. There you go.
Bad shot, he missed it right, missed it off his hand, and very fortunate to just leave the 2 pin. As you can see just how wide that shot got. Right there, 3.3. And that was the locator at the end of the pattern. 3.5 forward at about 43, 44 feet.
97% success rate on tour this year for this 2-pin. Closer to 98 after that. So the Kingpins trying to wrap this up. They're trying to move on and get to the semifinals of this 8-team PBA league. And the moment they have the advantage, they have half of the race for 2 completed. But Motown, do they have the muscle? They've got the talent, but at the moment, NYC has the edge. And we welcome you back to Portland in the PBA League. Now you can outfit yourself like the pros bowling in the league with official PBA jerseys available exclusively at PBA.com. Replica jerseys for each of the 8 PBA League teams or for specific pros are available. Jerseys can also be customized for individuals or your own team. Click on the menu tab of the PBA.com homepage and select the Shop PBA link to get started. Randy Peterson, Dave Lamont, and of course Kimberly Pressler with us here.
Hold your pose.
In Portland, Maine, as we're about to get going here is the Muscle. Randy down 24. We recycle the lineup and start with Josh Blanchard for Motown. They cannot lose this game. If they do, they are knocked out, and NYC will advance.
That's the only tough part about this competition is you could be one and done. Lose 2 games, see ya, pack it up.
Blanchard buries them alive as he sweeps the 10 into the pit. The other thing is, that's it for Josh. Unless there's a roll-off, and Josh Blanchard is selected. There is Tracy Tang, outfitted stylishly in her Statue of Liberty outfit. There's your son, Darren, who was stunning as college bowler at San Jose State. And he ain't bad here either.
Now, Josh Blanchard's done, but he was perfect for his 4 shots, and that's exactly what you want out of your leadoff bowler. Darren Tang, he hasn't been too shabby either. 3 out of 4 for him.
And you have the first point earned already by NYC Kingpins. Winner of Game 2 earns the second point. If it's the Kingpins, they'll move on to the semifinals to take on either the Adams Splitters or LAX. Motown's got to rally. And that went through the nose. And it's the third time he's broken up the split, and that was the toughest one he was looking at so far.
Yeah, he's really curving it. Got that one to the fourth forward on the right, as you see from strike track, and he's been really good at tripping the 4 out. But before it was with the 9.
Yeah, that could have been extraordinary. And those are strikes.
Yeah.
This one, unfortunately, for the Muscle, as it's starting to get a little bit late. And the crowd yelling, "Clean your plate." That simply means make the spare. Correct. There are several chances, a couple of which we actually can't even repeat. That are, I'm dead serious, and you know one of them very well. Can't say it, but it's an imaginative group, and it really adds to the fun here at PBA League.
Big shot here for Pete Weber and his team. They can increase the lead to 34. Hates it. They should. Terrible shot through the nose, got around it. Ball was left out of his hand. You can see it never got farther right than second arrow down lane. That was the full wrist collapse at release, making the ball go left.
You could see him mouth the words as he walked back, "Bad shot."
Yeah. Pete coming off of the second place finish last week in Minnesota on the PBA 50 tour. It's good to see him bowling well again.
Another gentleman bowling in PBA League who has been a force on the PBA 50 tour this year, Walter Ray Williams Jr.
Yes, sir.
We'll see him
3 in a row to start.
Yeah. Holloman could well be your 2019 PBA Rookie of the Year. And there's why. 7-pin was just jumped on.
What was it that Ballard was saying about him and describing Michael Holloman? He gets all over it.
Yep.
I like it because he gets all over it. Now, 235 max score for Motown. NYC 259, but it starts right here with Marshall Kent.
Let's finish it. Let's go. Come on.
Standing 8 count for those pins. Man.
Marshall Kent is done. He's done a nice job as he struck all 4 of his shots as well.
But here's a guy who strangely has not had much luck. Anthony Simonson.
Yeah, 2 10-pins game 1. Remember that. And then 7 count his first shot. Has yet to strike for his team.
That looked like a weird leave on that hit.
It's called the fast 8. And that's where it's just a little bit high. And generally, you'd only see the right-hander leave the 4-pin, but at times, the 7 can be with it. Del Ballard Jr. knows his team is in trouble. Running out of frames. And this match is all but over as B.J. Moore steps up in the 9th. A strike here puts them in the 230s. And they won't even need a mark in the 10th frame if BJ strikes on this shot.
Well, he hasn't missed yet. He's 3 for 3. And his strikes have been entertaining, to say the least.
Let's go, baby. Come on. Good job out there.
All but over now.
The 8th seed
Maximum BJ's right there.
is about to topple the number 1 seed.
Remember, Motown averaged over 240 for the 8-game Baker qualifier.
Zero margin for error. The messenger sails over to dispatch the 10.
I swept away.
Yeah, that was a leg sweeper right there. Messenger coming across, taking the 10 out. 215 max score for Motown. Watch this head pin of the sidewall. So 215 max for Motown, 259 max for the Kingpins. Yeah,
That's it.
over.
The NYC Kingpins, one of 3 teams to hoist the Elias Cup, and the first to do so will have a chance to do so as they move on to the semifinals. They knock out the number 1 seed, Motown Muscle. And you see two keys right there in the four. Now Pete stands up. Certainly his contributions too. But Kyle Sherman striking out of the 10th. B.J. Moore, beautiful, and Marshall Kent.
Well, you can really tell the difference between Pete Weber and the younger players on the team. Pete was the only one sitting down. The younger guys never sat down the entire match. Pete says, hey, I need a breather.
Well, he gets the rest of the night off. He'll be able to watch the heavyweight championship between the 4th and 5th seeds, LAX and the Silver Lake Atom Splitters, with Jason Belmonte, Jacob Buttriff, Chris Barnes. It's going to be something special. But what has been special has been the performance of Carolyn Doran Ballard's team. The New York City Kingpins have come on very strong.
And what a move to put Kyle Sherman in the anchor position, and what he did in game 1, where he stepped up and struck out and put all the pressure on E.J. Tackett, and they came away with that win.
Yeah, I'm going to give that orange ball a try.
They get through the first round. Remember, they haven't won since the inaugural 2013 Elias Cup. A pretty cool picture with Billie Jean King standing with the winners. Pete Weber, obviously the catalyst for that team.
Yep, she was the founder of that team. Jerome Bettis, the founder of the Motown Muscle. And Kyle, one more for the fans here at Bayside. A victory lap. And the Kingpins have earned it 238 to 205. But they bowled 245 and 238 games in advancing into the semifinals against the winner of our next match.
It's an honor. Thank you. Great ball, man. Great ball. Good luck tomorrow.
Kimberly's got Kyle Sherman.
All right, Kyle, so strong debut for you tonight. Yeah. What went through your mind when your team decided to put you in the anchor position?
Superstar, that's why. Thought they were a little crazy, honestly. I was like, you guys feeling okay today? No, it was good. My first 2 shots didn't hit the head pin, so I was feeling confident, and when that happened, I'm not gonna lie, that first one of the match was a little, I wasn't quite confident, but it fell, so.
Well, BJ just said that you're a superstar. That's why they put you in that position.
They believed in me, and that was huge. When your teammates believe in you like they do, it makes it so much easier out there.
Now let's talk about the 10th frame in that first game. Yeah. What went through your mind? Because you looked calm and collected.
You know what? People say that, but let me tell you, what's going on in here is not calm. But yeah, I tried to be as calm as I could. I knew what I had to do. I liked that lane a little bit better. And yeah, just made the shot, and luckily they fell. The first one wasn't very good, though.
Well, congratulations to you and your team. You guys now move on to the semifinals tomorrow night.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Thank you, Kyle. Spectacular bowling by the Kingpins, and that man there, Kyle Sherman. The Kingpins are going to move on. They're going to take on the winner of our next match, the LAX, against the Silver Lake Atom Splitters, the defending champs.
How quickly things can change in drag racing. If you don't want to get hurt, don't get in. You know, you're only 18 degrees away from an engine disaster. This race car will not ever beat me. Well, hang on to it, brother.
NHRA Mile High Nationals, Denver, Sunday, 3 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
I'll tell you what, we mentioned it earlier, but the summers in Maine, all over the state. Now, here's a summer sunset that you just won't ever forget here in Portland, the PBA League. Folks who live here, man, I tell you what, well, how fortunate you are. What a great place this is for bowling.
You know, when I'm here, I never get a rental car. I just walk everywhere. In the summer, I walk everywhere.
Right. Now, that's the way to do it. There's so much to do here and so much to see. And Bayside Bowl is the epicenter of bowling, and it has been this year for sure with all of the events here, and now with the PBA League back here where it belongs. And moving up and moving on will be the Kingpins, who take down the Muscle 2-0. Now they'll take on the winner of the match that's coming up in a few minutes, LAX and the Silver Lake Atom Splitters. We cannot wait to bring you this one. So many little side door plots besides what's obvious. Whoever wins continues. So, Randy, we got to go to your vast knowledge of this great game. It is time for our Go Bowling tip, our Go Bowling question for you, Randy. And it's all about trying to explain the difference between a conventional and fingertip grip.
Well, conventional grip is completely different than fingertip. Conventional is what you normally see pro shops put beginning bowlers in. And it's where you put your fingers in to that second knuckle. And we're going to show you this. Now, there's Jacob Buttriff's ball there on the right. And you can see that my fingers are going all the way into that second joint. That's a conventional grip. Now, the ball on the right, I stole from B.J. Moore. Notice how my fingers are only going in to that first knuckle. Now, Jacob uses a conventional grip because he rolls his wrist under it so hard that it actually takes some of the pressure off of his wrist. But for the life of me, I don't know why beginning bowlers go into a conventional grip. I think it's harder to hold on to. And then once they go to fingertip, they get a little spooked. They don't think they can handle it. But I think that a fingertip grip's actually easier to hold on to.
And by the way, conventional is also if you just go and grab a house bowling ball.
Exactly right.
That's the same kind of thing if you're a casual bowler. All right, look, Parts, we got this one coming up. LAX. Last couple of years, the Atom Splitters have knocked them out, knocked them aside. That's despite having Belmo and despite having some remarkable talent. LA's a little bit retooled this year.
Well, LAX has got Jason Belmonte and Jacob Buttroff, two of the best bowlers on the planet. Along with that, throwing Stu Williams, a newcomer, Anthony Lavery Spar, and I think the X factor in the PBA series has always been Dick Allen, who's now a member of LAX. Keep in mind, however, the Atom Splitters, probably the best manager in the business with Mark Baker, and they have a two-time MVP in Chris Barnes.
Yeah, Chris was remarkable in winning last year and helping the Atom Splitters capture another title. Now, let's take a look at these teams, starting with LAX.
Ready to get back to the Elias Cup finals.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing the number 4 seed, LAX. Bowling in the first position, the winner of the 2019 USBC Masters from, please welcome, Jacob Buttroff. Bowling in the second position, a 5-time regional tour champion, Anthony Lavery Spar.
Come on! Come on! Come on!
Bowling in our third position, a 2-time PBA Tour champion, Stuart Williams.
Come on, buddies. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Bowling in the fourth position, he holds the all-time record for career major championships with 11 wins, Jason Belmonte. And bowling in anchor position, the 2015 PBA League Most Valuable Player, Dick Allen. The LAX team manager, Andrew Kane.
Hi, guys. Let's go.
And now a look at our defending champions, the Silver Lake Atom Splitters.
Silver Lake
Atom Splitters. Go, go, go! Ah! 1, 2, 3-time Elias Cup champion.
ready for our 4th Elias Cup.
And now the number 5 seeds go bowling, Silver Lake Atom Splitters. Bowling in the first position, he won the 2016 PBA Tournament of Champions, Jesper Svensson. In the number 2 position, a 5-time member of Team USA, A.J. Johnson.
Let it go. One more time, baby. Let's go, bud. Huh? Have some fun, huh?
In the number 3 position, a 2-time PBA Tour champion, DJ Archer. Bowling number 4, also a 2-time PBA Tour champion, Tom Dougherty.
No chance. Let's go.
And bowling in the anchor position, he's a 2-time PBA League Most Valuable Player and a PBA Hall of Famer, Chris Barnes. The Adams Splitters team manager, Mark Baker.
All good.
Oh, man, this is going to be something. LAX versus the Adams Splitters. And it is a little bit personal between these two because the Adams Splitters have stood in LAX's way.
Our soccer is a vibe. We pull up, lace up, link up, and get down. Like that. Our way. Our soccer. Sunday on FS1. It's Orlando City versus New York Red Bulls. Then it's Seattle Sounders FC versus Portland Timbers.
Oh, let's do this. We got everything here. Swedish flags. What do you need? We've got it here at the PBA League, the Jacob Buttriff look-alike. My goodness, the Adams Splitters and LAX. We got star power. We've got major champions. We've got a Hall of Famer. We've got future Hall of Famers all contained in this game. And the winner will take on the NYC Kingpins, who have their own Hall of Famer in that top 5 and certainly future Hall of Famers in that group. All right, let's go to Twitter because, of course, we will. So Flo Bowling mentions that the defending PBA Tour Elias Cup champions, the Adams Splitters, return almost everybody in 20. So will they repeat in 2019? Well, one of the almost everybody's is a guy named Dick Allen who says no. Jason Belmonte is bound to win a PBA Tour Elias Cup at some point. No better year than this one. Standing by is Dick Allen and Chris Barnes with Kimberly Pressler.
Guys, what a difference a year made. Chris, you guys are the defending champions, but your former teammate Dick Allen right here just put out a tweet this week that said you guys have no chance of winning the Elias Cup this year. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, he's entitled to his opinion, of course. You know, and we hated losing Dick because, you know, he was a great part of our team a couple of different times here. But we could only keep 3. Picking 8th, we didn't have much chance of getting him back, but we noticed.
He said no chance. You guys have no chance.
I guess we'll see about that, but don't worry, it's been used among us plenty.
All right, thank you so much for your time. And Dick, you heard what he had to say. You are stirring the pot per usual. What do you think about it?
Yeah, those are kind words, but we're out here to bowl. You know, we can be friends later. You got to talk trash on Twitter. He's not very good at it. You know, it was all in fun. May the best team win, my man.
We plan on it.
Yes, sir.
A lot of trash talking going on here. We'll see who walks away the winner.
You know, I think it's real interesting in that you could have made an argument to retain Dick Allen over maybe Tom Dougherty based on the season that Dick Allen has had.
Which has been very, very good.
Just throwing it out there. All right. Not to take anything away.
No, I understand. That's a fair comment.
Tom Dougherty is awfully good in this in the PBA League Series. He's been traditionally very good throughout. He made a couple of shows this year. Dick Allen won. So there's a good argument there.
Well, let's get going with one of the 2 hottest bowlers on the planet. And it's going to stay up. And Jacob Buttriff opens with a bucket.
And then let's not forget that Dick Allen was a former MVP of the league.
He is the Baron of Bayside.
Yeah.
This building, doesn't matter which side we bowl on it, makes no difference to that man. He bowls splendidly here.
And I know that I'm going to get a ton of hate mail from all the Tom Dougherty fans.
And from Tom.
But, oh no! That's all right. If you're going to open, make it the first frame.
Yeah, that's true. The NYC overcame and opened in the second frame to win their first of the 2 games they needed to win in this race for 2 games on this Baker format.
Jacob Buttriff coming off of Another win this season. And that was, I believe it was in Lubbock.
It was. Beat Stu Williams, as a matter of fact. The PBA Lubbock Sports Shootout. Here is Jesper Svensson. Oh, man, a wraparound 7. This is, we've always talked about Jesper being a reserved personality. This is the one place, and this is the one event where that reserve is left behind, and he lets go.
Yeah, you see that rev rate of approaching 600, maybe the highest on tonight's telecast, even with Belmonte on the show tonight. But, this is the one place Jesper lets his hair down at.
Checking the approach a little bit. Now, the teams stay on the same lane for the entire game. So the Adam Splitters will bowl this game on the right side. Then when the game is over, they will shift over to left. And remember, the Baker format, if you're just sitting down, tuning in and wondering what's going on, if you're Anthony Lavery-Spar, who's making his debut in this event, you're bowling the 2nd and 7th frames, and that is all. Ooh, a little 4-pin action there. Those two will collide, keeping them from each other. So the next bowlers, 3 will bowl the 8th. The 4th bowler, Jason Belmonte, you see there over Lavery-Spar's shoulder, will bowl in the 9th, as well as the 4th. And the lead anchors, Dick Allen and Chris Barnes, will bowl 5 and 10.
Anthony making a telecast earlier in the season at the Mark Roth Marshall Holman doubles in Shawnee, Oklahoma. He finished 3rd with partner Sam Cooley.
And speaking of Mark, utterly thrilled. I was just overjoyed to hear that he will be here on a Thursday to present the MVP that's named in his honor. A man who changed bowling, and there's not even a dispute about that statement.
Agreed.
Now, this guy and this event are a good marriage.
Yeah.
He is an emotional player, and this is his environment.
Yep.
It doesn't hurt that he's really good, too.
I got you.
Well, I think there's a lot that don't feel that AJ has ever lived up to his potential. He's a great talent. But there's no denying how well he's been at the PBA League Series. That's for sure.
He is still looking for his first PBA title. Stu Williams has a lot of them all over the world.
Finished 2nd to Jacob Buttrick in Lubbock, Texas.
And a perfect shot for the Englishman.
I cheated one from one with the practice shot before.
Yeah. So he went back with some intel for Belmonte.
Push a little bit when he did it.
He said, I cheated, meaning he moved a little bit farther left before he threw that shot.
DJ Archer, 4th in the Players' Championship. Remember talking to him afterwards, he was so frustrated. He came up to you and said, did I bowl bad?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yep.
And he was really disappointed. Nothing to be disappointed about there.
I wonder if we're going to get a chance to see him throw some shapes on the lane.
Little dancing?
Yeah.
Dancing DJ. Good to be.
Yeah, because he can throw some shapes.
Well, everybody knows who this guy is, I would think, if you follow the PBA Tour or the sport in general.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Dave.
No, that's all right. You're all-time major champion.
Yeah. Number 11 this season. Breaking the record. Amazing. Look how deep he is.
That looked like somehow there was a magnet under the lane to get that thing to turn like it did, but he does leave a 10 on the deck.
Well, he's crossing 20 boards. So from at the arrows to the break point, there's a 20-board difference.
Boy, it looked like a good shot.
I could do that, said me never.
Well, if you use 2 bowling balls and put them together and make one giant bowling ball, maybe.
95% Lane Talk information gives us our spare conversion percentages based on what our players do out here on the tour. Now here's Big Tom Doherty. Everybody seems like they're sporting the facial fescue on that lane. There's a little gray going on Tommy's.
Yeah.
Of course, he's in his 40s.
Oh, man, that looked like a solid hit, but a quiet 10-pin left behind for Tom. Out of Riverview, Florida, 44 years old to be exact, 2-time titleist.
21 out to 8. Good-looking shot, but just a little flat on entry for Tom Doherty.
Tell you that, though, he is 10th this year in earnings. and 8th in average.
He's had a nice season, a quietly nice season as Tom Doherty.
So unlike the previous matchup, the Pins are fighting back a little bit in this one. Now we take a look at the Baron of Bayside and Dick Allen. Never forget that win in Lubbock.
The Baron
oh, yeah,
Bayside.
Oh, yeah. I brought that one out from last year. Oh, yeah, this is his place. Yeah. This is the marriage. These Dick Allen and this crowd.
And,
come on, let's go.
Would you have bet anything that Belmonte would be in the 4th hole and Dick Allen would be anchoring the team?
No, I wouldn't have. We both correctly guessed that Chris Barnes would be anchoring the Adams splitters.
Yes.
That wasn't too difficult. And, well, what's the old expression about hit him thin and watch him spin?
Yeah.
No chance that strikes. No chance of striking.
So the anchor bowlers come through. Dick Allen and Chris Barnes. They talked to Kimberly earlier. Some friendly trash talk between the two. We'll finish up this first game in this race for 2 coming up next on FS1. And we are back here at the PBA League, and it is time for our Columbia 300 Fun Fact. This year's PBA League features 10 first-time participants. Andrew Anderson, Brad Miller, Anthony Lavery Spar, whom you're looking at right there, Darren Tang, Patrick Girard, Brad Angelo, Chris Prather, Mitch Hoop, AJ Chapman, and Michael Holloman.
Hoop, there it is.
Mitch, can't wait for Mitch to get out there. Jacob Buttriff, who had a bit of a bummer to get started, he left a bucket and then left one behind. And that's one of the reasons LAX is down, but so far neither team has run off and hit through the first 5. It's a race to 2. The winner of the first game, if you win the second game, it's 2-0, and that's that. If we have a split of the first 2 games, we'll have a 1-ball roll-off. And there is a spinner.
That one took its time getting back to the 1-2 pocket for Jake, but managed to catch enough and throw this mixer. And that's big because that cuts the deficit to 10, Dave.
And throws it right back into the leadoff bowler, Jesper Svensson, who spared in the first frame to start things for the Adams splitters. Oh, yeah. The 10-pin was a touch punch drunk there, but it fell. It was down it goes.
Dazed and confused,
Yep.
the 10-pin was.
For so long, it's all true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Go to bed. And the lead back up to 20. Big shot here for Anthony. Look out. Yeah, left all the way.
Fortunate to get rid of the baby split.
Left out of his hand, not enough hold, not enough direction to the right. When you have that much power, there's no way that ball's going to hold its line. He knew it immediately. Could prove costly here in game 1.
And so Lavery Spar, who bowled the second frame, has bowled the 7th. And that's his last frame for this game in this 5-team at Baker format. A.J. Johnson knows this format well. And again, the winner of game 1 earns a point. The winner of game 2 earns a point. If tied after 2, we'll roll it off. And that's the PBA style roll-off. Captain's choice, 1 ball. Penn State stubborn that time.
Maybe a little too amped up, not able to take advantage. Working on that double, it's back to 20 with a spare here for A.J. Johnson.
Well, the other thing that's a little bit different about this is very simply the weight. You're not just throwing shots all the time, not in any kind of rhythm.
Harder on the older guys than it is the younger guys, I can promise you. Like right now, Chris Barnes is standing in the back going, hurry up, hurry up. Chris Barnes a year away from bowling on the PBA 50 tour, if you can believe that.
I don't think he can.
Him, Jason Couch, and another guy by the name of Brad Angelo will be eligible next year.
Well, Couch has already dropped the hammer. He can't wait. He's raring to go.
Yeah. Chris tried to play it off. He wasn't real interested. Couch said that's a lie.
Problem is Chris can still bowl with these guys.
Yeah. How about Stu Williams? Throwing it nice and soft and really opening up the lane. You can see there at 17.3 miles an hour. That's a little on the slower side for professionals.
I didn't move. I just opened up a little bit more. Like I didn't move my feet.
So he's telling Jason Belmonte he didn't move. He just opened it up a little bit more to the right.
So DJ Archer and Ronnie Russell, that 2014 Chameleon match, needs to strike here. Oh, he shaped it beautifully, but nope, the dancing's going to have to wait.
Yeah. Nice shot, DJ. He did miss left on this shot, but it pushed and it held its line beautifully. Oh.
Okay.
Almost.
That was close. It was a good pose.
Yeah.
He vogued. Val Belmo. Through a 9 spare in the 4th frame. Oh, no. Oh, that was such a good looking shot.
Carbon copy of his first shot. Another violent ring and 10 for Jason Belmonte. And that's going to prove costly. They could have struck out for 228 and got right back in this, and now their max score is only 208 with a spare here. Yeah, missed it. Game 1's going to go to the Atom Splitters.
So the defending champions move a step closer to the semifinals and a date with the NYC Kingpins tomorrow. And it's too quiet for Tom.
248 max score. If they go open, it could get interesting. I don't see how that will happen. That ball rolled out. What I mean by that, folks, is it started to turn the corner and then flattened out. And that's what happens when the ball tends to roll a little heavy, a little end over end. It'll lose energy early. Spare here locks it up.
One right at it. Nothing subtle about that.
All right, here we go. That was like yours.
So the two sides will be switching lanes following this match.
Let's get some intel going down to Coach Andrew Kane. Coach Andrew Kane, what do you see that's going on with your team, and what adjustments will you make for game 2?
Well, right now we're taking a look at Jason might need to make a ball change. He threw a couple pretty good shots. You know, we might change the lineup as well. Energy wasn't that great this game. We made mistakes. But we liked our chances on that right lane, so we're just going to try to see if we can take it to a roll off.
Thank you, Andrew.
So the energy wasn't great. And, of course, when they switch lanes, it'll be interesting to see what lineup changes he will make. So Dick Allen just capping off this game with a 186, but it will not be enough. The Atom Splitters have taken a step towards another championship. They've got one, but this is a race for 2. And the Atom Splitters had it coming from the left side and the right side. And getting closer to defending their championship. Bayside, Portland, Maine, the PBA League, night 1 of 3 here on FS1. In just 4 days, one of the greatest fighters of our generation puts his legacy on the line as Manny Pacquiao battles undefeated world champion Keith Thurman in the can't-miss fight of the summer. Saturday at 9 Eastern, live on pay-per-view or order on the Fox Sports app. Well, we're getting ready for game 2, but before that, let's revisit on our Ebonite Flashback tonight all 3 of the Adam Splitters titles, beginning with 2014. And Chris Barnes breaks up about 20 splits on that shot. They had Dom Barrett on that team, the big, nasty West Malott.
Tommy Jones,
yes.
Brian Smith.
There's Tommy.
I mean, I could have won with that team.
Moving on to 2015. Another one of the greats, Mika, is there. And, of course, his one-time roomie, Chris Barnes. And the MVP, Dick Allen.
Who's now on the other team.
And he's taking out of the night. Dick with a sly smile raised in the air for the championship. Now, we go to 2018. Chris Barnes zip-lining into the pocket. A.J. Johnson was there last year. And the Adam Splitters beat Philadelphia for their 3rd championship. See Tom Doherty? Dick Allen's hiding there behind the Elias Cup, but he's out in the open today, Randy, going against his former team. They were not able to retain him, as you heard Chris Moore. They chose not to. Let me rephrase that, because you can retain 3 of 5. So now they've switched lanes. Adam Splitters have the lead 1-0. If they get this in the race for 2, they're moving on to take on the Kingpins, who won earlier tonight over the Motown Muscle, and Jesper Svensson's got some work to do.
Mark Baker, Randy Peterson up in the booth. Just wondering what kind of adjustments you make now with your team moving over to the left lane.
Well, we think this pair plays a little tighter, so we're just going to try to keep making good shots and keep filling frames.
Thank you, Mark. Good luck.
Thank you, Randy.
Mark Baker, Silver Lake Adam Splitters manager. Jesper.
It's so cool. I get to talk to the managers.
It is nice.
Right?
I know. We should be able to do that all the time.
Like that.
So the lineup change has been made by Andrew Kane at LAX, and he swapped his 2nd and 1st bowler. So Anthony Lavery-Spar will now bowl the 1st and 6th frames. Jacob Buttriff 2 and 7. That's the change made. Stu Williams is still 3rd. Belmo 4, and Dick Allen remains the anchor for LAX. They must win this game to force a 1-ball roll-off. And that's going to be a little bit of extra work for Lavery-Spar. Randy, one thing has happened. The scores are going down a little bit. There was no re-oil in between games.
Right.
So what transitions have you seen so far?
Well, I mean, I see the guys with the heavy hands, the big-handed, high-rev players playing really, really deep and really trying to open the entire lane up. It didn't work for Belmont. He left a 10-pin every time. Lavery-Spar can't get the ball far enough to the right. And I think one of the things that I took away from our first match was that the players actually went a little bit straighter.
Okay.
Marshall Kent, big, heavy-handed guy, chose a ball that read the lane very early, but it also held its line, and he was able to go straighter. And I think that the players, with their practice, decided to hook the ball too much, and that's why they're failing. Tighter down lane, the left lane is. You can see that. That was probably the farthest shot to the right that's been thrown by a right-hander outside the 3rd board. And just not enough friction to get it back from that spot. And I think that was probably farther right than he wanted it.
So the high-scoring hand-to-hand combat we thought we might get with these two has not yet materialized, but there's still time if they can figure out
My bad, guys. My bad.
the right way to attack the pocket. And Lord knows that is a thinking team over there, the Adam Splitters.
Be helpful if I had that.
So here is your USBC Masters champion, Jacob Buttriff. And in the don't try this at home category, he's on the list. There you go. He wants a little more noise for that shot.
Fall into it, fellas. Fall into it.
Through the years, we've seen so many southpaws actually anchor these teams because of less traffic on that side, and not to be for these two teams. Jesper leading off for the Adams Splitters, and now Jacob Buttriff is in the #2 spot.
I think there's only one team minus the left-hander of the 8. DJ, big lob. Go. My.
Interesting.
That was a strange occurrence over by the 7th pin there.
Sure was.
Look at this again.
Very interesting.
That was the head pin, and
yeah, very interesting pin reaction there.
Now, we're not finished. You realize we have 4 more teams. Brooklyn and Portland, Dallas and Philadelphia. That is next on FS1.
Yeah.
We are transitioning. My goodness, that took a long time to get there. I actually had time to do an entire promo during that ball down the lane. That's what we've got coming up. 4 more teams, 20 more boulders, and great action.
Hey, if you love bowling, you're going to love this.
Yeah, you're here.
Another live show right after this one.
Oh, no, man, we're not going anywhere. We're here. Yeah. Live shows tomorrow night and Thursday, the championship both at 9 Eastern here on FS1.
Beef stew. Oh, he's going to curve it just like he did on the left lane.
Wow, what a skilled player. My goodness.
Go.
Great shot.
Oh, and by the way, did I say that Stu Williams has been perfect? Bowling with more confidence again, and nice to see him bowling well. Again, we mentioned his 2nd place finish a couple of weeks ago in Lubbock, losing to Jacob Buttriff.
Oh, Doherty finds the way.
Let's go.
You know who his kryptonite is?
Huh?
No, I don't.
Drop stone. And let me just tell you how big this guy is for our sport. And I'll go to that right after we watch this shot by Chris Barnes.
All right, you see what happened to Chris in the playoffs. Lost to Kyle Troop. You'll see Kyle a little bit later on tonight with the hometown Portland Lumberjacks. Well, he's done that a few thousand times in this building.
I think that was a ball change. Going over to the left lane. And again, nobody really manages and figures it out quite like Chris Barnes does and has over the years.
So back to Jason about how big he is.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to tease that going to break.
Oh, you son of a gun.
Yeah.
All right, here's the Baron. Again, it's his building. He's just letting us use it.
LAX looking to get right back into this. Dave, something unbelievable happened just a couple of days ago before we came to Portland, Maine, and we were in Detroit. I'll tell everybody about it when we come back from the break.
And it has to do with the guy who just walked out of frame and is now heading over to speak to someone. Well, I can't wait now. The PBA on FS1 is sponsored by Go Bowling. For promotional offers, tips to improve your game, news, or to locate a bowling center near you, log on to gobowling.com. Looking for a summer spot? Why don't you try Portland, Maine? And if you're here in time, maybe you can swing by and catch the PBA League as we are doing. I'm Dave Lamont, joined by Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler and all of you, plus, of course, our fantastic crew enjoying this great city one more time. Let's recycle the lineup. We go back to the top of the order. And Jesper Svensson, while we await the end of Randy's story.
Right after this shot, I'll tell you. Svensson looking to cut the lead by LAX to 13 with a strike here, working on a double. The Iceman, can he deliver? Cannot.
Same thing. Go ahead. Can we say it at the same time?
Two great minds thinking alike. Go ahead.
That's the same leave Jacob Buttriff had on the first shot of the match on that lane.
Yeah. Failed to convert as well.
Yeah, he left the 9-pin behind. By the way, you owe me Jinx.
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
That's right. I got a bottle of water. I'll give you that. Oh, my God, he almost missed it. He collapsed the 9-pin with the 6. Not the traditional way to shoot that. Okay.
So we're at Junior Gold in Detroit,
right? Which is still going on, by the way.
And we're at our. You had all the manufacturers there. Brunswick was there. EBI and all their brands are there. Motive is there. I'm in the Storm booth working with all of our guys, just like all of the other manufacturers with their pro staffers. And we signed.
Okay, the messenger takes on the 10-pin.
That one he gave enough room to the right.
Yeah.
So we're there signing autographs for over 4,000 kids and their parents for 10 hours.
Wow.
But here's the kicker. We got an hour break for lunch, and
Told you I had one good one.
I mean, it was the greatest experience ever. And the time flew by like that because all we did was sign, take pictures, sign. Sure. People waited in line for over 3 hours to get Jason Beaumonte's autograph and a picture with him.
That's as impressive as that strike we just saw there from A.J. Johnson. And I know Jason, he signed him and did them all. There's no doubt about it.
We all did, and he did. And one of the things that makes him great, along with what he does on the lanes, is what he does off the lanes.
Exactly right. There's a lot of stories about Jason and his generosity. I witnessed it personally in the wake of the Parkland tragedy. That actually tops the A.J. Chapman trip 4-9.
Check out this pin carry. Oh, and that takes 5 to 6. Wow.
Well, you got to strike back. Oh, look out, a late, nasty crossover, and the Allen Splitters are in big, big trouble. We may be headed for that one-ball roll-off.
We are looking like we're going to go to a roll-off, that's for sure, isn't it, Dave?
Oh, I don't know how the Allen Splitters are going to avoid it. They won the first game, but right now, and that may do it right there. That did do it. So really simply, it's going to be a one-ball roll-off. The manager obviously gets to make the choice for his team.
I should have moved right.
And I don't think it's a decision that Mark Baker or Andrew King can make just yet. If you want to make sure, I mean, look, Stu Williams has been absolutely brilliant. Do you give him that shot?
You hear what Stu's yelling? Ring the bell. Tiebreaker time.
Or do you ask the best player in the world, hey, buddy, you got one more in you? Or you ask the Baron in his building to do it.
Yeah. Well, Stu Williams has been perfect. Hasn't missed.
Nope. It's going to be an interesting decision.
It looks like the right lane is actually a little bit easier to strike on. At least it is for LAX. Obviously, they've got spare 7-bagger. Max score of 290. This game's already over, and we're only in the 9th frame.
LAX is the higher seed. So we are going to a one-ball roll-off. Now, what we're going to get is Kirk Von Kruger, Deputy Commissioner of the PBA, will lay down the law when this game is officially over. It is over as far as we're concerned. The race to 2 is going to need one additional shot, or maybe even more, as Delmo just buries him. So there's his audition tape.
On the first one?
And if you're Mark Baker...
1 and 1 left on the second one. Okay. So that's why I shot the 4-pin like that. I moved a little left, and it still came off. See where it goes. Got it.
And you heard Tom Doherty's. Tom did not try to make that 4-pin. No. He didn't have to make it. He was just showing Chris Barnes another way to attack the pocket.
Right, and the teams are going to stay on the lanes they're finishing on. And So the higher seed gets the choice of position. Do they want to throw the first shot, or do they want to throw the second shot in the roll-off? If we tie, the managers will then pick another player to throw that next shot. And right now, what's going through the minds of these managers is, all right, who am I going to get to throw that first shot?
1-1 and see if it's
It is spare 9-bagger for LAX.
Yep. Likely to be the best game of the night, even with another show coming up immediately following this one.
Barnes has looked real solid on that left lane.
Yes, he has.
Won't be surprised if he goes first.
I think Andrew Kane's got an extremely difficult decision to make because his last 3 bowlers are now in stride. Stu, Belmo, Dick Allen. And wasn't it a couple of years ago in Reno we saw Dick Allen crank a winner in the USA versus the world?
Yeah, Butcher, he's been perfect this second game on that right lane.
That's right. You've got the 2 hottest players this year on tour on the team for LAX.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't overlook Stu Williams right now.
Well, he's been perfect. I mean, he has probably been the most consistent out of anybody for both sides in this 2-game match.
Dick Allen kicked that late 10, then he went high, and then that went light. So I'm not so sure that's your pick.
Come on, come on.
My vote, and I'm strictly the amateur in the building, is I would have to go, they're ringing the bell. That means we're going to a roll-off.
It's tiebreaker time, right?
All right, give me your guesses. Who would you pick?
I would go Barnes for the Adams splitters.
This match must be
hang on, let's
decided
listen
by
to
a
Kurt
one-ball sudden death roll-off. LAX is the higher seed. They will have choice of starting. Andrew, who's going to start the match?
Jason.
LAX will throw the first ball. The teams will remain on the same lane if they're tied after this first ball. The team managers will elect another player to throw another shot. We'll continue like that until the tie is broken. Good luck, players.
So I like that. I'd go with Belmonte for sure. And I guarantee Mark Baker is going to go with Chris Barnes.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I would. Yeah. I'd do the same thing.
Yeah. You got a Hall of Famer, a guy who's done well in this building. And you have the top player in the world, the all-time major championship holder. He's had another big year. He will be in the Hall of Fame. He'll go first.
Two ringing 10s on the left lane, 2 strikes on the right lane. What does he do here? To be kidding me. Watch this. The ball rolls out. It quits right in front of the headpin. And then he trips the 2-5. Are you serious?
One thing don't do. Don't get behind it too much. Okay, Scott.
You heard him telling Stu Williams, whatever you do, don't get behind it too much. Remember, I talked about that rollout when the hand gets too heavy behind it.
Well, Chris Barnes has to just laugh that off. And now they're yelling Hall of Fame. Must strike.
That's it.
No, not going to happen. And LAX has knocked out the defending champions with the roll-off.
Wow.
It'll be a NYC versus LAX in the semifinals tomorrow night. And we're going to talk to Jason in just a second. There they are. Go ahead, Kimberly.
Jason, it all came down to that roll-off. Those last 2 pins slowly went down. What went through your mind?
Yeah, well, you know, we've had a couple of unfortunate breaks throughout the years. That was one coming back for us.
Good shot.
Yeah, wasn't my best shot, but sometimes you don't need to have your best shots to strike. This time, we got lucky.
Well, congratulations to you and your team. You guys now move on to the semifinals tomorrow night.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to it.
And why not? When you know what? What's the better be lucky than good? In Jason's case, he's both.
Yeah.
So there you see the bracket. Tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern on FS1, it'll be the AC Kingpins who took down the Muscle 2-0 and LAX. And you just saw what happened there in dramatic fashion with a crazy strike by Jason Belmonte. But we are not finished with our work this evening. This is not even work, really. We got the Styles and the hometown Portland Lumberjacks. And more after that, the Philadelphia Hitmen will be in action. We've got some of the finest bowlers on the planet yet to come with the PBA League. You'll see the Brooklyn Styles. The Dallas Strikers, Norm Duke, will be